In the 1960s, this poem became one of the most widely read, widely memorized, and widely quoted poems of any living poet in America. I'm going to explore why I think that is. Why did people love this poem so much, and why do they still love it today? It's also become, in the intervening decades, one of the most anthologized American poems. It's a poem of the Beat movement, a poem of Robert Creeley, who was closely associated with beats like Jack Kerouac. It's clear that the hippies of the 1960s had a particular connection to this poem because of its down-to-earth attitude, or its, on the surface, apparently down-to-earth attitude. Its clear, overt breaking with the tradition, misspelling words, not writing in a set form or meter, and using language which is clearly of a more modern type and not historically viewed as appropriate for poetry, such as "goddamn," "Christ's sake," and I guess also exploring the clash that the people of that time had between a desire to, go to Woodstock and just have fun, live a life of love, but still being heavily attached to these worldly possessions like big cars. As I said to my friend, because I am always talking, John, I said, which was not his name, the darkness surrounds us. What can we do against it? Or else shall we, and why not, buy a goddamn big car? Drive, he said, for Christ's sake, look out where you're going. So, as I said to my friend, because I'm always talking, the speaker of the poem is always talking. This is someone who is probably always thinking as well. People who are always talking are always thinking. They're people who can't shut their brains off, and so they just keep talking in order to distract themselves from those thoughts they're having. As I said to my friend, because I'm always talking, and what's he doing in this poem? He's talking, right? We've got this person who's declaring right from the start that he's always talking, and we're seeing in this poem that acted out. He's always talking to us. John, I said, which was not his name, why does he not remember his friend's name? It's either that his friend isn't a very close friend, entirely possible with someone who's always talking, this sort of extroverted sort of character, or it's that he's thinking and talking so fast he doesn't have time to remember his friend's name. He just has to rush on through the story, and he gives his friend a very common name because he needs to throw that name in to make the story work, apparently. But he's still honest about it, which was not his name. The darkness surrounds us. Very, very serious line coming in. He's being very casual with us. As I said to my friend, because I'm always talking, he's talking very casually, but what he was talking to his friend John, not John, was something very serious. He brought in this extremely serious topic while they're going for a drive. The darkness surrounds us. And breaking the word in the middle there, surrounds us. It makes it so much more serious. It puts this deep emphasis on it. With the "sur" meaning over, and the rounds, going around. So it's really sort of emphasizing that overwhelming nature of the darkness. It's over the top of us and around us. Surrounds us. What can we do against it? Or else shall we, and why not? And so he's still being very highfalutin here, right? It's still very, very high language, as you might expect from older poetry, within this story, within the speech that he's giving to his friend. Not whenever he speaks to us, he's being very casual. Then when he's speaking to his friend, it's very, very highfalutin. He's having very serious thoughts here, very serious speech. And then he breaks out of it. Shall we, and why not, buy a goddamn big car? We can't do anything against the darkness. It's there. Here he is, always thinking, always having these deep, depressing thoughts. well, why doesn't he just go and buy a goddamn big car, enjoy life a bit, live the wealthy life, become a businessman and get lots of money and just waste his money on cars and houses and all of that? And what did John reply, whose name wasn't John? Drive, he said. For Christ's sake, look out where you're going. Now, I always recite this that way. I always recite this with the assumption that John is saying, drive, for Christ's sake. I mean, Christ's sake, he's clearly getting annoyed with the speaker's silliness. He's saying, we're going for a drive. We don't need to think about all of these big ideas and stuff. Why are you always having these ridiculous thoughts? Drive. For Christ's sake, look out where you're going. He's focused on the moment, right? He's absolutely intensely focused on the moment. Not on buying big cars, not on the darkness that surrounds us, the moment. Let's not crash here. While the speaker is off away in La La Land, thinking about darkness, thinking about possessions that he could have. That's where his friend has mindfulness and he doesn't. He's just thinking completely outside of the moment. And even when he's quoting his friend, I get the feeling he is perceiving it not as this momentary thing where the friend is focusing on the moment and not crashing. He's perceiving it as this giant statement, right? And that's why later on in his life, he's recounting this statement to us. He's saying, look at this big insight that was given to me by my friend. Drive, he said. For Christ's sake, look out where you're going. The friend is focused on the moment, but Creeley is hearing his friend giving him this huge, insightful life lesson that you should drive, that you should look out where you're going, as if this is some big lesson that he should slow down, stop talking, stop thinking. And it is a big lesson, but it's not what the friend was thinking. This is where the humour comes from in this poem. I think it's important that this poem has these deep thoughts, and it has these ridiculous thoughts, and it has this humour of this misconnection between the friend and Creeley. And that's certainly why I love the poem. I think it's probably why the people of the 60s loved the poem, in addition to just the beautiful, beautiful language. Creeley was heavily influenced by Williams. When he was young, he was just trying to write like Williams. He said that he thought his understanding was that Williams took a breath at the end of every line, and he thought that's what Williams did. Williams didn't do that when we hear the recordings, but that's what Creeley thought, and so Creeley sort of adapted his own style based on the style of what he thought the style of Williams was. As I said to my friend, because I am always talking, John, I said, which was not his name, the darkness surrounds us. What can we do against it? Or else shall we, and why not, buy a goddamn big car? Drive, he said. For Christ's sake, look out where you're going.